Hello everyone, it's Joe from OnePageZen.com, and today in this tutorial I'm going to show you step by step how to deploy a WordPress website on Google Cloud Platform. In part 1 of this tutorial, you'll learn how to deploy a WordPress website on Google Cloud Platform. Then, in part 2, you'll learn how to link a domain name to your WordPress website. Finally, in part 3, you'll learn how to configure free auto-renewing SSL certificates for your WordPress website. So let's get started. All right, so from your Google Cloud Platform dashboard, go to the navigation menu in the upper left-hand corner of the screen and navigate to Marketplace. From here, let's search for WordPress. Scroll down and click this option, WordPress Certified by Bitnami and Automatic. All right, and finally click the Launch button. All right, so now let's configure our virtual machine instance. So for deployment name, you can choose whatever you'd like. For zone, you should select a zone where most of your website's traffic is concentrated. For me, that zone is going to be US Central 1A. So I'm going to select that. Next, you'll need to select an appropriate machine type to handle your WordPress workloads. For my WordPress website, which is relatively low traffic, the F1 Micro instance is sufficient. So I'm going to select that. If you'd like to learn more about how to determine the appropriate machine type for your WordPress workloads, be sure to visit this tutorial's page at OnePageZen.com. Next, let's select our boot disk. So I'm going to select the SSD persistent disk because that offers better performance than the hard disk. And I'm going to do 30 gigabytes. I'm going to leave the default networking settings as is. And I'm going to make sure both of these boxes are checked to allow both HTTP and HTTPS traffic from the internet. Finally, I'm going to click the deploy button. All right, and this takes usually a few minutes for WordPress to deploy, so sit back and relax. All right, great. So now that your WordPress website has successfully deployed, let's head back over to Compute Engine. And here we're going to copy the external IP address, which is attached to our virtual machine instance. So I'm going to copy this. You can click this little icon here if that's more convenient. All right, and next I'm going to head on over to my domain name provider. In my case, I'm using Namecheap, but these instructions will be applicable regardless of the domain name provider that you're using. So here from my Namecheap dashboard, I pulled up my domain, which is OnePageZen.com. I'm going to ensure that I have Namecheap Basic DNS enabled, and then I'm going to head on over to the Advanced DNS tab here. Now from the Advanced DNS tab, I'm going to make sure that the only two records here are an A record and a CNAME record. So for my A record, I'm going to change this value to the external IP that I just copied in the last step. So I'm just going to paste that and then click this green check mark to save the changes. Next, you'll have to make sure you have a CNAME record configured with a host of www. Click the green check button. So in your case, make sure to change OnePageZen.com with your actual domain name. And this value here should also represent your own unique IP address for your virtual machine instance. This one is mine. So these two fields here will vary depending on your unique configuration, whereas these fields will remain the same. All right, so let's head back to Google Cloud Platform. So now as you can see, we're back on our VM instances dashboard, and we can see here's our WordPress instance, and we're going to connect to it. All right, so let's configure SSL for our website. So I'm going to enter the following command. And this command is available for copy and paste on this tutorials page at onepagezen.com. So I'm just going to press enter. And what this is going to do is it's going to run a script that's going to allow us to automatically configure SSL for our website. So I'm going to enter my domains now. So I have onepagezen.com and www.onepagezen.com, and press enter. All right. And do I want to enable HTTP to HTTPS redirection? Yes. This should always be yes. Now this one is optional. It depends on whether or not you want the www.prefix before your domain name. I personally don't recommend using the www.prefix. So I'm going to select no and enable www to non-www redirection. I'm going to select yes. Okay, and I'm going to select yes again. All right, now enter an email address. And yes again. All right, and looks like the SSL was configured successfully. So lastly, let's press enter to continue. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is clear the terminal here. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is print my WordPress credentials to the screen. This will give me the username and password to log into my WordPress website. So I'm going to enter this command, which again, I have these commands listed individually on this tutorials page at onepagezen.com. All right, and you can see here I have my username and my password. So I'm going to copy that password. All right, so now I'm going to pull up my domain, which is onepagezen.com. And you can see I have a fully functional WordPress website here with SSL enabled. And now let's test out those credentials. So I'm going to do WP login at the end, user, and paste that password and log in. There you go. You've just successfully deployed a WordPress website with a custom domain name and SSL certificates on Google Cloud Platform. Now, these SSL certificates are configured to automatically renew before they expire, so you don't have to worry about the SSL renewal, and you should be good to go. Thanks a lot for watching, and don't forget to check out onepagezen.com for many other great cloud computing tutorials.